thanks so much for joining us. We're going to talk all about New Haven Reads today, which is such a wonderful organization. My guests are Kirsten Levinson and Fiona Bradford. Thank you so much for being with us. For those who have been living under a rock, what is New Haven Reads? Take it, Fiona.
So New Haven Reads is all about sharing the joy and power of reading. So we are a local nonprofit serving Greater New Haven, and we have two main programs. We have a community book bank where we distribute, people give us their gently used books and we distribute them back into the community to the tune of 120,000 books every year. And then we have a one-on-one tutoring program, which is all about literacy, and we're working with over 500 children from Greater New Haven every single week, thanks to the dedicated support of 400 volunteers.
When did this organization start? Give me the history of it.
Sure. So it started in 2001 with a very amazing individual, Chris Alexander. She was our founder. And it started kind of organically, like all of our programs do. She noticed she and her friends had a lot of books at home that were gathering dust, and other people in our community don't have books. And so she decided to collect books, put them on shelves, and then invite people to come in and take what they needed. And they don't have to bring them back. So that's how we're different from a library. But because they don't have to bring them back, we're always in need of new books, especially children's books.
All right, we're going to show some pictures. Anybody can volunteer to help a child read.
Yes.
And you have taught many children to read. Do you know over the years how many children that you've taught to read? Do you have a ballpark?
Our ballpark is over 4,000
Over 4,000 children in the Greater New Haven area as we look at this. How many volunteers do you need per year?
So we have 400, but which is amazing, but we have a wait list of over 130 children. So we are really a community-driven organization in that we can only be as successful as the community supports us. We need it in books, as we discuss, but we really need an individual 15 years or older to give 1 hour a week of their time. And we can train anyone to do that. Anyone who knows how to read and likes to be with kids. We can give you all the other information. It's 1 hour a week.
Is there one central place that you go to, or are there several?
So we have 4 locations. They're all in New Haven. One is in Science Park. There are 2 in the New Holvale-Dixwell area, and we have 1 in East Rock. So we have a number of different places that people can choose to go.
How many books have you given away? A million? I mean, do you know?
It's almost 2 million.
2 million
Yeah,
books.
We think we're going to hit 2 million in the next year, which is very exciting.
That people have just given. And what kind of books are you looking for? Children's all the way to adults?
Yeah, it's mostly children's books that we give away, though we do certainly give away adult books too. But in addition to having books on shelves that anybody can come in to get, and of course we encourage our own students to come and get them, we also have school field trips in the morning. So a bus pulls up, they come out, we read them some stories, and then each child gets to pick out 5 books to take home. And it's a beautiful thing to see because they clutch the books to their chest. They're so excited about them. And for some of our kids, it's the first books that they own.
Do people really have a grip on the situation in Greater New Haven? Most people say, oh my gosh, I got a whole shelf full of books. There are children who don't have that. Talk to me about that.
There are a lot of families who just don't have the resources to be able to purchase books. And they may be fantastic patrons of their libraries, but to have a book that you can keep is really important. And that's what we're looking to do with the students that are in our programs, but also with the wider community, because we want them to come and take books and keep them. And then what we're seeing often is that kids, as they outgrow books, come back and bring the books that they've already taken from New Haven Reads and go and get new ones. So they bring back the old ones and make sure they get sort of recycled through the system.
It's an amazing concept. Does this exist in other places, or are you the template for other places across the country doing this? Do you know?
We have an inkling. So there are a few other organizations across the country that provide one-on-one tutoring, but as far as I know, they're all in the schools. So we are unique in that we have a location where the students have to come to, and the one of the many benefits of that is that the students feel like this is home. They're not still in school. And they've told us that. And another benefit is that we have the opportunity to form a relationship with the parents. And I think that's really part of the key of our success, is to be able to communicate with the parents. We can talk to them about how well their student is doing, or if there's some issues, we can talk about that and see what other needs need to be taken care of.
Now, you said you have a waiting list of about 136 kids or so. How do they find you? Is it through the schools? How does this happen where someone says, I would love to sign my child up for your program?
So it's a little bit of everything. It's mostly word of mouth. So it's a lot of parents talking to friends and talking to neighbors and cousins and things like that, and they're coming in saying, oh, my neighbor told me about this program and my child really needs help. And we also are getting referrals from schools and other kind of health organizations and things like that. Teachers are hearing about us and saying, you know, I have a child that would really benefit from the program, and talking to the parents, and then they come in. And so parents can come in, and all of our programs are free of charge. So the only qualification to be in our program is that the child is struggling with reading and reading below grade level. So
where are your resources coming from? From kind donors?
We have many kind donors, so that's over 50%, but our budget is almost $1 million. So every year, we have to raise that amount of money. And Fiona's right, we don't charge for any of our programs. So we have kind donors. We go through grants, both foundation and government grants. We have a wonderful spelling bee that you know all about
And I
in
love
October.
that every year. And it has grown by leaps and bounds.
It has.
yes, it's a fabulous event.
So that way, now, if somebody wants to volunteer to come in for an hour a week or 2 hours a week, how do they do that, and what kinds of steps do they have to go through to become a volunteer?
So the easiest way to find out about volunteering is to go to our website, newhavenreads.org.
Which is a brand new website.
It is brand new and very shiny and lovely.
We're very proud of it.
We're very proud of it. And so there's lots of information there about being a volunteer. And then they can fill in the volunteer application. They will come in and meet one of our team, and they would have an interview and an orientation and work out what it is that they want and what days work for them and what locations. And then if they want, they can shadow another tutor and a child, so they can get a sense of kind of how to do it and what to do. But we also offer training. We offer general tutor training and more specific training for specific topics as well. So there's lots of opportunities for people to kind of get involved and to be trained. So a lot of people, oh, I'm not a teacher, I don't feel like I can tutor. Like Kirsten said, it's all about, do you have a love of reading and you want to help a child? That's all you have to do. We provide everything else.
Well, that's the point, right? Reading is everything. Education is everything.
It's
then
critical.
You can get ahead in the world. What is your wish list? What do you want that you don't have yet?
Well, certainly I wish we had more volunteers. I think that's a very pressing need right now. You know, we rely a lot on college students, which are wonderful, but they go on breaks and they're gone for the summer. So we, coming up in May, we have what we call our tutor famine time, when we lose so many of our college students. So that's really right now is the top of our wish list. You know, you asked how we're funded, so financial resources are always something that would be great to have, and certainly books. Those are really the three things that are at the top of our list.
As far as this program going forward, it has grown by leaps and bounds because there is such a need. Can you tell me about some of the success stories that maybe you followed a child through, that they started to really love to learn to read through New Haven Reads? Are there stories that you can share?
Oh gosh, there's so many stories, and it's funny that the way you phrase that, because I'm a tutor myself, and I have a student who is in 12th grade who I started with 9 years ago. It's unbelievable. And we actually have a couple students, probably 4 or 5, who are graduating that have been with us for that long. And for myself to see how much he has grown over those 9 years, it's been incredible for me. I mean, I feel very sad thinking about him leaving, but he's going to college. I mean, that's what we had hoped for. And, you know, in 3rd grade, you don't quite know how it's going to work out, but he's worked so hard, he's learned so much, and it's been tremendous to see the growth he has made. It's
You
been
are so
tremendous.
passionate about what
I
you
am.
do. And since I've known you, I understand that. Other stories you can share with me.
So we had a student last year who, she had come to us when she was younger and had been with us for several years and had done just an amazing job of really, she had really struggled with her reading and got on top of it and was doing really well. And when she came back to us when she was in high school, and her name is Bobby, and she came back and said, you know, I need some extra help. I really want to go to college, but I just don't know, I need some just help. And so we hooked her up with 2 of our amazing tutors, and they helped her with her essay, thinking about organizing her projects, and just got her through those last little pieces of high school where she just needed a little bit of support. And her mom came and spoke with us and said that what she had in her pocketbook was Bobby's acceptance letter to UConn, saying what an amazing student she was. And she would show it to everybody and anyone because she was so proud. And Bobby got into 8 colleges in Connecticut.
Oh my
and
gosh.
is just like flying and is now at UConn in her first year. And those are the kids. They come to us when they're younger, and we're so proud of them. They make such strides because what we're doing is just supporting them getting to where they need to be. And they're going on and doing fabulous things because it's just the beginning of their journey.
It's interesting from both of these stories how they kept coming back, even being a senior in high school. So what you all have built is a safe place to learn and kind of a home away from home.
You're exactly right. And most students don't stay with us that long. So their reading gets better, you know, they get involved in other sports or something. But we do have many students who stay with us for that long a period of time. But in any case, you know, all of our students, they refer to us very affectionately as Reeds, and they like to come. I mean, that's another thing I want to make sure, you know, potential tutors know is the kids want to be there. They're so happy to be there. They have their own individual tutor who acts almost like a cheerleader for them, supporting them, telling them they're doing a great job. I mean, any of us would love that kind of thing.
What does schools say to you?
They're very appreciative. You know, in the best scenarios, we're working with the family and we're working with the schools. I mean, we don't have enough resources to be able to meet with every single teacher because we have 500 kids, but the schools are very appreciative. They, you know, we're all working on the same thing. We're all trying to get the child up at grade level, if not higher. So they're very appreciative of what we're doing. And we can do something that most of them can't. We can work one-on-one. You know, 97% of kids can learn to read. And in New Haven, it's less than 30% are reading at grade level in 3rd grade. They just need a caring adult who can work one-on-one with them. And you know, one thing I do want to make sure we add, we've talked a lot about our tutoring program and our book bank. We also have a pre-K and kindergarten program that, again, started organically because we thought, why wait till they're in 1st grade and need our help? So we started with kindergarten, and then we had some parents getting their students, pre-K students, in the kindergarten class. We said, okay, we'll have a pre-K program. So we're working at all different levels.
So New Haven Reads is so passionate about what they do. As you sit here and know that there are 136 names sitting there waiting, that's wasted time for those children. That need to get in there.
They can't afford to lose.
No, because they're like sponges when they're little. So we've got to get you more volunteers.
Yes, that's what we
Is that
love
job number 1?
Absolutely.
Besides, you know, funding.
Yes.
It is job number
And
1.
books.
It is job number 1. You know, they can't be successful in school unless they learn how to read. So that is job number 1. So yes, we would love to get more tutors.
Well, thank you so much for helping Greater New Haven's kids learn to read and be successful and go to college. Fiona Bradford and Kirsten Levinson, thank you so much. And it's newhavenreads.org. Look it up and volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Spend all night kissing and if was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm as a wishing and found the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store, but mine just to save time. I'll skip right ahead to the last ride.